Hey everybody, this is Sam Coster from Butterscotch Shenanigans, today bringing you another art time-lapse using Inkscape. Now, Inkscape is my tool of choice because I cannot draw with my damn hands, and I'd highly recommend it for anybody who has a hard time sort of sketching things from scratch or doing, concepts for things. I've always said that my strength is actually as more of an editor than a creator of things, and so what Inkscape does is allows me to throw down some basic shapes like this sort of strange square, and then essentially edit them into what I actually need. So in this case, we're aiming for a furniture item, which is going to be a totem made out of those components that you see right here on the right. And includes a shirk beak, some smash blossom, a emerald smash borer, which is going to be used for the eyes here, as well as a conjoined perp, which ends up being dropped later on. So the important thing here is that you just kind of start putting stuff down and getting stuff going. And I've always recommended to people, if you're getting started with Inkscape, for the love of God, do not use the pen tool. Just use the pencils tool. You can see in the top left of the screen, when I actually start using the pen tool, that there's a smoothing gradient up there that allows you to change how sort of wobbly the line is. And this is a really big and useful thing because it allows you to freehand draw things with relative accuracy and then edit them into where you need. So for this totem, we're going to aim for something kind of scary looking. And you'll see I have a lot of problems with these eyeballs before I actually get them where I want to go, but the mouth is the thing that actually worked. So on the first pass, kind of got that about where I wanted it. And what I usually do is once I get the overall sort of shape of a thing, which in this case is the sort of green marshmallow flavor in the background, I pick one thing to kind of focus on and get that done to my liking, and then I let everything else kind of be informed by that. So in this case, I was split between picking either the eyes or this mouth that I had started. And as you'll see here in a second, I also try, maybe working in some horns or something with that conjoined perp flower. But when that doesn't work, I just decide, whatever, let's just take this piece that actually is working, which is the mouth, and detail it up. So let's just finish this. So I'm going in here with just a 0.5 pencil tool, and just drawing in some extra lineage. And that'll make it feel like this piece is actually kind of complete and done before anything else is. And then I'm going to build the rest of this totem actually around that piece. So now that I got that in there, this thing's kind of taking a creepy edge. So instead of going for like more of a cat eye, we're going to go for just a kind of a screaming monkey face. So having these just big round, perfectly round eyes, a little more inset does that for us. And once I get those in position, you'll see very quickly the thing starts coming together. So we use, again, the pen tool just to slam some lines in there, make sure that certain parts of it are highlighted, like the eyeballs get a lot of accent lines to them. The edge of the totem itself does. So now I'm going to finish adding in those lines to make the smash blossom look like a smash blossom. So after we add in these sort of hypno eyeballs, which of course are super cool and creepy, just grab it and duplicate it, by the way. A lot of this work is just duplication. Add in some fine details to make that smash blossom really look like the texture that it's supposed to look like. And that jug that you saw on the right earlier, that you'll see again, is kind of the script I'm working with to make sure something actually resembles the material that it's worked with. It's like if you made something out of wood, but it was way too shiny, it would kind of start looking like a piece of metal. So you want to hit that sort of creepy, very wrinkly look that happens to be the smash blossom look. Now we're coming in here and just going to finish this up by adding a bunch of shading. And shading is really where a piece, in my mind, comes to life, because that's where it enters the real world, right? It starts being affected by light. So what I'm doing is taking a 30 opacity, dark blue in this case, to help, because it's a green background, and adding the shading in just all over the place with the pencil tool really fast. So this whole piece took about 17 minutes to make. Once you get really competent with Inkscape, it's pretty easy to whip stuff up really fast. So we're just going in here, adding these fine details, highlighting the sort of strangeness of the smash blossom stuff, darkening up the mouth a bit to make sure that looks like it's a hole. And then we're going to add in these highlights. And again, it's important to do these in the style that the material suggests. In this case, it's sort of this like slick wood piece. And so we're going to have these cool sort of iridescent highlights coming off of it. Add a few more just to up the creepiness factor a little bit. And then what good is a totem if it's only got one head? So we're just going to grab the whole thing, duplicate it, and then 2 heads isn't good either. So we're going to shrink it down, do it again, and manage to get 3 heads tall, which will still fit on one of the tiles in this game. And then again, using the shadows as a suggestion that these things are actually interacting with each other, going to go in and add a little bit of under shadow to each one of these, which again is just using the pencil tool and 30 opacity shadow drawn in to make it look like they're interacting with each other. And the final piece of shading is to make it look like it interacts with the ground. So that's a 30 opacity, just duplicate the whole object and then skew it in the background a little bit to make it look like once it's actually put down, it's in the real world. And that's it. Thanks for watching.